This is a demonstration of how to do the adhesion test on the backsheet of a module. From previous segments, we've prepared the sample by adhering the beam to the backsheet, and now I've placed my small load frame onto the backsheet of the module and affixed it via the loading tab with this small pin. The program for our load frame is a simple displacement rate control at 10 microns a second. In fact, for all width-tapered cantilever beam measurements, we always run at a displacement rate of 10 microns a second. I've started my load frame to run at 10 microns a second, and now the D-bond is starting to propagate slowly down my beam. I'll want to let it run until the D-bond is approximately halfway down my sample. A good way to visualize where the D-bond is going is with a thin piece of foil. You can place it underneath the beam and carefully bring it to where the D-bond has propagated to. Try not to put too much force because you could interrupt the sensing of the load cell. When I'm happy with how far it's gotten, I'll make a quick mark on the sample to where I think the D-bond is and stop the measurement. When I stop the measurement, I'll also unload the sample. I'll do this so the D-bond doesn't have a chance to run any more before I determine what that final crack length is. So we've concluded our measurement, and with the aid of the foil, I've made a small mark on our beam in the approximate area to which I think the D-bond has run. Now for the analysis, it's critical that we have an accurate measurement of the D-bond length. And so I'm always going to advocate looking at the fracture surface to make that accurate measurement. To do that, with most samples, you can simply use your hands and remove it. If you examine the fracture surfaces, you can clearly see the delineation between where the measurement stopped and when you physically pulled the beam off of the module. I think it's most clear here on this blue encapsulant, and it's right about here. Also on the beam, it might be harder to see. The shade of yellow changes from a darker yellow to a lighter yellow from where the measurement ended and where I physically pulled the beam off. To measure the final D-bond length, I always like to use a nice pair of digital calipers, and again, I measure from where the D-bond finally stopped to the center of the loading tab. And for this sample, I'm measuring about 59.3 millimeters.